old man just got back from playing a bit of football to find out that Larry Fink is on Fox Business Live talking about the Bitcoin spot ETF. So funny to see how these institutional players are now rotating and suddenly calling, an asset which at once they were saying was used for illicit activities and was like the wild, wild west, to now saying it's an institutional asset. Here's what he had to say.
BlackRock and NASDAQ refiled, naming Coinbase as the custodial surveillance partner of the spot Bitcoin trust. The crypto world pinning its hopes on BlackRock, which has a track record regulators say they find too good to reject. At least that's what people think. BlackRock's 576 ETF applications, 575 have been accepted, and just one has been rejected. I know you're all asking which one. I'll tell you later. It was in 2014. As the entire crypto sector waits and watches, joining us now in a Fox Business exclusive is BlackRock's chairman and CEO, Larry Fink, along with Charlie Gasparino. Great to have you, Larry.
Liz, Charlie, it's good to be here on a summer day.
Yeah, and we're cool in here.
We are.
Larry, I know that per SEC regulations, you cannot get into specifics. But as you look at all of your track records when it comes to iShares and approvals, how do these things work out? How long does it take? And what do you think odds are of any of your ETFs that you float getting accepted?
Well, we try to do what's right for the long-term investor, and I think we have a good track record working with our regulators and trying to making sure we're thinking about all the issues around any filing. And so I can't get into the specifics of this filing, but I think the chart speaks quite well. We work really closely with our regulators, and we want to hear from the regulators what are their issues and how can we fix those issues around that. So we hope that, like in the past, we could be working with our regulators and get the filing approved one day. And I have no idea what that one day will be, but and so we'll see how that all plays out. Specifically on Bitcoin, as I've said in the past, we're a believer in digitization of products. ETFs was a big revolution for the mutual fund industry, and it's really taking over the mutual fund industry. And we do believe that if we can create more tokenization of assets and securities, and that's what Bitcoin is, it could revolutionize again finance. And so we look at this as an opportunity to move one step further in terms of providing investors, fractions of shares, fractions of this, democratizing the cost of investing. Over the last 10 years, we've lowered the cost of iShares ETFs by 30%. So what we're trying to do is make it more accessible and more easy. The attempt in terms of what we're trying to do with crypto is make it more democratized with all of crypto and making it much cheaper for investors. Right now, the bid-ask spread for crypto is very expensive. It does erode a lot of the returns that you speak about because it costs a lot of money right now to transact Bitcoin, and it costs a lot of money to get out of that. And so we hope our regulators look at these filings as a way to democratize crypto, and we'll see in the future how that plays out.
You were never a crypto skeptic like Buffett. I mean, Buffett and Charlie Munger come out and they say all this bad stuff about it. But you were kind of skeptical.
Yeah, I was skeptical because the early users it was heavily used for, let's say, illicit activities. And I think as it became more accessible, and also I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold in many ways. Instead of investing in gold as a hedge against inflation, a hedge against the onerous problems of any one country, or the devaluation of your currency, whatever country you're in. Let's be clear. Bitcoin is an international asset. It's not based on any one currency. And so it can represent an asset that people can play as an alternative. I would call the foundation of BlackRock is about hope. You invest for retirement because you believe tomorrow is better than today.
Right, but hasn't the technology sort of diverged from the value of the digital coins? I mean, I don't know a lot of people who use the the blockchain. That's the Bitcoin
Right.
technology to transact. I know a lot of people hold Bitcoin. You don't hold Bitcoin, right?
I don't own anything other than mutual funds and
BlackRock,
ETFs and BlackRock shares.
Okay, but you see what I'm saying? There's been advancement. There's a utility, it seems, out of nowhere about this digital coin. I don't see the utility in the underlying technology, and isn't that bad?
Well, no, I actually believe the underlying technology is fantastic because
really?
the blockchain will help you accelerate the processes of transactions. The blockchain will help you identify. I mean, let's be clear. If you have a pure blockchain and you have knowledge of who the buyers and sellers are, we could then, we don't need custodians anymore.
Okay.
We don't need, the whole process of finance. Some of the intermediaries are broken down. And so this is why we're all studying.
There, but we're not there.
We're not close to there.
But
it's an advancement of technology. I mean, it's no different than the spirit around AI and what AI can do.
Larry, as we look at the broader market here,
Right.
we have come out of a bank crisis. I don't know, it was a mini
crisis,
fit or something like that.
A little mini
It didn't
crisis.
feel mini to the banks that went under, three
Correct.
of them.
Yes.
But the very issues that put those banks under, whether it was bank management in relation to higher interest rates,
Correct.
have not gone away. Now we've got the roller coaster coming right at commercial real estate.
Yes.
Are there more banks that you foresee failing, whether they are the regionals? We just talked to David Rubenstein at the top of the show,
Sure.
and he thinks maybe in a couple of years we will see some of these go away.
We have 4,400 banks. We have more banks in the United States than any country in the world. We believe in local banks, so we have a strong foundational belief that local banks are good. But to have 4,400 maybe is too many. Liz, you framed it perfectly. I believe interest rates are going to continue to go higher. I think the Federal Reserve is going to have to do minimum of 2, but maybe as much as 4 more tightening.
4 more rate, 25 basis points.
25 basis points, another 100 basis points. I actually believe inflation is stickier and more structural. And so I see a future of higher interest rates. Higher interest rates is going to create more stress in commercial real estate. Commercial real estate is the largest asset category of regional banks. And so there may be stresses.
So there you have it, guys. That was Larry Fink on the Bitcoin Spot ETF. The markets wait in bated breath for this ETF announcement, right? If we get this ETF announced, which could be as soon as Q3, Q4, maybe Q1 next year, this could be huge for the space. And what's very, very important to understand is Larry Fink, who you just heard from there, and more importantly, BlackRock, they are not in the business of getting rejected, right? This is why the markets are front running right now. They know BlackRock do not file for ETFs. It's not like the other ETF filings. They do not file unless they know something or they've had like a nod ahead of time, right? So that's what we're looking out for here. Markets are excited. Now, of course, the risk is still to the downside as well, right? If everybody's front running that this ETF gets approved and we don't, it could be worse than if we didn't even have BlackRock file in the first place. So there are some risks there as well, but definitely an exciting time. More new money can enter into the market. Institutional money can enter in the market. Ultra high net worth individuals can now easily access Bitcoin via spot ETF. It's a real game changer, and there's a reason why the markets are excited. Hope you enjoyed this quick update, guys. If you appreciate this type of content, make sure you smash the likes. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.